You'll be shocked by OpenAI's new device. You can't afford to miss this. Let me tell you what's really going on. So, OpenAI is quietly building its first physical consumer device. Designed by Jony Ive, manufactured by Foxconn, and internally known as Gumdrop. This is not a side experiment. According to supply chain leaks, court testimony, and reporting across the US and Asia, this is a serious attempt by OpenAI to secure direct access to users before that access is locked up by competitors. The device is still officially unannounced, but the picture is unusually clear. OpenAI's first consumer hardware product is in the design phase, with a projected launch window in 2026 or 2027. It's described as roughly the size of an iPod Shuffle, light enough to wear or carry, and intentionally screenless. Instead of a display, it relies on a microphone and a camera, with voice as the primary interface. One capability appears repeatedly in reports: the ability to transcribe handwritten notes and upload them directly into ChatGPT. That detail matters. It signals what this device is optimized for. This is not a phone replacement, not a smartwatch competitor, and not a screen time play. It's meant to live alongside existing devices, capturing information, context, and intent in moments where pulling out a phone feels unnecessary or disruptive. The involvement of Jony Ive immediately raised eyebrows. OpenAI acquired Ive's hardware startup, IO Products, in an all-stock deal reportedly valued around $6.5 billion. That is a massive commitment for a company that has never shipped a consumer device. Both Ive and Sam Altman have described early prototypes in unusually strong terms, with Ive calling the project a priority and Altman suggesting the hardware is far ahead of what people expect from AI devices. Manufacturing choices reinforce that this is built to scale. Early plans reportedly involved Luxshare, but OpenAI shifted production to Foxconn, the company behind iPhones and Pixel devices. Manufacturing is expected to take place in Vietnam, with possible US production later. Supply chain sources say OpenAI does not want its first major hardware product made in mainland China. That decision is expensive, but strategic. It signals that OpenAI views this device as infrastructure, not a gadget. Foxconn does not enter projects casually, and companies do not reroute manufacturing unless they are planning for long-term volume and geopolitical stability. This strategy also reflects hard lessons from recent failures. Humane's AI pin launched with massive hype and collapsed in under a year, eventually being discontinued. HP acquired Humane's remaining assets for roughly $116 million, a fraction of what was invested. Rabbit's R1 sold around 130,000 units initially, but daily active usage reportedly dropped to about 5,000. OpenAI is acutely aware of these outcomes. The difference is that Humane and Rabbit tried to create new categories without controlling platform economics. OpenAI is starting from the opposite direction. Its biggest vulnerability is not intelligence, it's access. ChatGPT lives behind layers OpenAI does not control. On iPhones, Siri owns system-level interaction. On Android, Gemini is deeply embedded. Browsers, app stores, and default assistants act as gatekeepers. And OpenAI depends on companies that are also its strongest competitors. That concern became explicit during Google's antitrust trial. In open court, OpenAI's head of ChatGPT, Nick Turley, admitted the company is deeply worried about being shut out by firms that control discovery points like browsers and operating systems. People don't discover AI through benchmark charts. They discover it through defaults, and OpenAI controls none of them. A dedicated device changes that equation. A screenless, always available object creates a direct interaction path that bypasses app stores and home screens entirely. Instead of episodic usage, open an app, close it again, OpenAI gains persistent presence. Voice becomes the primary interface. Habits form naturally because the device is physical, not buried in a folder. This also explains why audio has become a major internal focus. Reporting from multiple outlets indicates OpenAI is aggressively upgrading its audio models ahead of this hardware launch. Internally, researchers believe current audio systems lag behind text models in accuracy and latency. That gap matters when a device relies almost entirely on voice. Competition is tightening as well. Gemini models have already outperformed GPT 5.2 on some benchmarks. Microsoft, Perplexity, and xAI are investing billions to close gaps or leap ahead. There's a growing belief that AI models will eventually converge in quality, offering similar capabilities at lower cost. If intelligence becomes commoditized, distribution becomes decisive. That context explains why OpenAI is thinking far beyond a single device. Recent reporting suggests Pinterest could become an acquisition target in 2026, with OpenAI named as a potential buyer. Pinterest brings roughly 600 million users, a massive image dataset, high purchase intent, and an existing advertising business. Combined with generative AI, it could evolve into an AI-native discovery and shopping engine. Even more striking was OpenAI's openness to acquiring Google Chrome. In court testimony, Nick Turley stated that OpenAI would be interested in buying Chrome if regulators forced Google to divest it. Chrome is not just a browser, it's the primary gateway to the internet for billions of users. Owning it would allow OpenAI to introduce an AI-first browsing experience at unprecedented scale. When you connect these moves, Gumdrop stops looking like a quirky AI pen. It looks like the physical edge of a much larger strategy. Hardware, audio models, browsers, platforms, and distribution are all part of the same fight. OpenAI is trying to secure direct access to users before the doors close. The biggest risk is not technical failure, it's irrelevance. A beautifully designed device that works well but never becomes essential. A subscription funnel instead of a paradigm shift. But even that outcome may still serve OpenAI's broader goals. Because in a future where AI is everywhere and increasingly interchangeable, the company that controls how people interact with AI controls everything else. So the real question is simple. Will people trust a screenless AI device enough to make it part of daily life? Subscribe so you don't miss your portion of news. See you soon.